Hello everyone, this is Alan from MysteryMTG.com. Today we are talking about a very controversial subject. So I do have a hot cup of coffee next to me. The question is always asked, is Magic the Gathering a good investment? Should I be putting my money into sealed booster boxes? The answer is yes, it is a good investment. But does that mean it's a better investment than buying futures, commodities, stocks, options? No. Okay, so there are a bunch of debates about this, and it also depends on what you're investing in. Now, this isn't going to be a very structured video. I just kind of want to give my take on this. Mystery MTG, we've always been buying sealed product. We've bought in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sealed product from multiple LGS owners, and we sit on a lot of cases of really good old product, and it continues to appreciate. Even Time Spell Remastered, as you can see on the screen in front of you, has been appreciating, and it appreciated a lot from the 140ish that we got it for, and it peaked at I think 360 or 370 a box, and who knows where it'll end up being in 5 years time. A lot of times Magic the Gathering is a good investment if you're investing in something that is a limited print run. So secret layers, for example, are a little bit of a diversion from that, but without mentioning those, we can talk about stuff like Time Spell Remastered, we can talk about stuff like Double Masters, we can talk about the entire Master series. Besides probably Masters 25, which hasn't seen much of an appreciation, and there's a good reason for that. So, a lot of Magic product needs to have a set list that warrants an increase in price. Now, this can be negated, for example, Homelands, by just nostalgia, and simply by supply going down and demand going up. So we've all seen the huge rise of people buying these older boxes and older singles and jumping back into the reserve list, and prices have been skyrocketing. Now, the important thing to remember is that prices might come down a little bit, but they'll never come back down to where they were. And the reason for that is over time, product will go missing, product will become damaged, the supply continuously becomes smaller and smaller. So with a stock, they can dilute your stocks, so your holdings can become less valuable with certain companies, right? But Magic the Gathering, for example, will never release another Time Spell Remastered. They might do a Time Spell Remastered ×2, but that might not be as good as the original Time Spell Remastered, and a lot of people will invest in something that has a little bit of nostalgia for them. So when it comes to investing in Magic, it's always good to invest in older product. They will continue to go up. No matter what anyone says, they say this is too expensive, this is too expensive. I promise you that in Pokemon, and I don't play Pokemon, I don't invest in it, I'm not knowledgeable in it, I'm not acting like I am knowledgeable in it. But back when Charizard, the first edition Holo Charizards were like 150 grand, I'd imagine that a lot of people were attempting to sell theirs and they thought it was a peak. So people sold a lot of them, and nowadays you can barely find them for like 500 grand. And that's what happens. We've even seen Post Malone start playing Magic. We've seen a lot of bigger celebrities start to get into TCGs in general, including Pokemon. And that has introduced a new sort of pool of capital into the game. So the issue is, though, if you want to start investing in the game, you have to have a way to get rid of the product without being destroyed in fees. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if you had bought cases and cases and cases of Time Spell Remastered or mystery booster boxes, which were retailing for like $110, $120, and then ended up, I think these days you can't find them for less than $260 or $280. The problem is when you try to sell those boxes, the fees will kill you. And I'm not talking about just PayPal fees. I'm talking about a lot of times you're not going to be able to find someone who wants to buy the entire supply. So you do want to find someone who's going to take off all of this. It just makes shipping easier. It makes logistics easier. But you're going to have to make an eBay listing. You're going to have to talk to an LGS, and they're obviously going to undercut you, right? They're not going to want to pay market price. There's going to be a lot of issues there. eBay, obviously, there's listing fees. TCG Player has huge listing fees. I mean, at the end of the day, 10 to 15 to 20 to 30% of your investment is gone there. And unlike stocks where you can write those off, unless you have an LGS, it actually, kind of sucks. You just kind of lose money off of that. And it's a pretty sizable amount of money. So you don't ever want to just go into it thinking, well, the box has gone up $20. I've made money. Let me just sell it. Well, you got to pay taxes on that now. The IRS has changed rules. So, by the way, if you can see in the video, I'm rubbing packs on the sword. It's for good luck, okay? Don't judge me. All right. So, anyway, I've seen a lot of people who do quite well buying and selling Magic product. But you would be shocked at the amount of volume that they have to do to make a decent living, and you would be shocked at all of the issues that they have to deal with. There's scam artists, there's people who are going to be taking your product and doing chargebacks, and you're not going to be able to contest it because the banks always side with the buyers. So, you think about all of those things, and if you made $350 profit from something, and then someone scams you for $500 worth of product, you're actually you're net negative. So you get into this weird thing of you think you're making money, but then you look at it and you have all these fees, you have all of these fraudulent claims, you have this, that damaged product. Half of these products might go missing from USPS. They had a huge issue in January and December with products going missing or packages going missing. And that's a lot of money to be losing. Now, if you are someone who's interested in dual lands, if you are someone who's interested in reserve list products, then it's a little bit different. Those products will never be reprinted. And if they are, the sky will come caving in. A lot of people will be very angry. But a lot of the older editions, if you look at Birds of Paradise, for example, a lot of the older foils or the older reserve list cards will maintain their price because people like the nostalgic feeling of the original versions of the card. The newer versions, let's be honest, you look at any of these cards here, they don't look like the cards we saw in Urza Saga. They don't look like the cards we saw in Arabian Nights. So it's different. It's very different. People are going to be paying different prices for those, obviously. Should you be investing in the reserve list? Well, so far it seems like the answer is yes. The reserve list has gone up like crazy. I have friends whose collections used to be worth 20 grandish and are now worth $85,000 to $90,000. That is a good investment. Now, let's be honest, it's a little bit different than investing in Microsoft or investing in Boeing or investing in actual companies, because those companies have a fiduciary duty to support you as an investor, and they pay you dividends, you have protection from the SEC. There's a bunch of other things you get from that, right? But when you're investing in Magic product, literally no one is on your side, okay? TCG Player just wants to make money from you. eBay just wants to make money from you. The customers probably want to take your sealed product. Let's be honest, even a nice guy, when he sees an Urza Saga pack in front of him, when he sees an Urza Saga box in front of him, he might be willing to take the risk and scam you for that box. Not just for the rush of it, but also because he really wants that product and he thinks it's going to go up in value over time. So it's a good thing to steal for him. It's going to appreciate, right? So, think about all of those issues. Think about all of those issues when you get into this, because if you're going to start buying Magic product and you have nowhere to sell it besides eBay and TCG Player, or, even in-person meetups can be scary. You never know. You might get robbed, and that's happened before. So you have to really solidify what channel you're going to be selling this through. If you already have success selling singles, you might be in a better place. Your buyers are probably going to be buyers for sealed product as well. So is Magic the Gathering a good investment? Yes. Now, there's a ton of caveats like I've just told you about, and you always have to keep that in mind. Are other TCG games really good investments? Yes. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been going up. Pokemon has been going up. And as these boxes continuously get opened for content on YouTube, you just see the supply go down and down and down. And you can't really expect the supply to come back up anytime soon because they can't be reprinted, okay? Now, they can be reprinted in these remastered sets, and that's why I chose this video to put as the background. Time Spiral was an old set, and then they released Time Spiral Remastered. Time Spiral, the original set, didn't really take a price hit, and Time Spiral Remastered went up in price. So you can see that the sealed product itself really didn't have that much of an effect, right? So if you held the boxes, you didn't really care because the supply of actual OG Time Spiral boxes is not very plentiful. And even if they do these remastered versions, people are always going to want to buy the original Time Spiral boxes, not the remastered version. Even though the remastered version is very popular, it's just not going to be the same hit of nostalgia as having a couple decades old box of Magic the Gathering. So I think all of this is very intuitive. It's all something that we understand. I personally worked in finance back in the day, and part of me really enjoys investing in Magic because you do have the safety of this is not going to be reprinted. This will never come back out. War of the Spark will never come back out. War of the Spark remastered would not happen for the next 20 or 30 years. You can sit on War of the Spark boxes and rest assured that the supply is not going to go up. So you buying it at 90 something dollars was a good investment. You're going to be able to hold on to it. It'll peak up to 120 to 130, maybe 140. If someone makes a video, if Rudy makes a video about it, you might even see it hit 180 or 200. So that could be a good investment for anyone if you're willing to sit on it. But when you're going to sell the product and you're going to try to sell it on Facebook, people are only going to be buying it for what they find the lowest price on eBay or TCG. And beyond that, people typically cut around 5 to 10% off the bottom just to be able to sell it, right? So if at maximum you're selling it for 180, more than likely you'll end up selling the box for 140. You bought it for 90. That's $50 profit per box. If you end up having to pay tax on that, if you end up having transaction fees on that, it really doesn't make sense. Okay, let's say you had 6 boxes and you only make $30 each. It's $180 profit. $180 profit for 6 boxes that you had to sit on, that you had to make time for, that you had to make space for. And now you did all this work to sell it, and you're literally walking out with $180 profit. It just kind of doesn't make sense. With stocks, if you end up losing money, you can use that for your taxes. You can write that off. That's a capital loss. With Magic product, if you end up getting screwed and you pay way too much for a product and it ends up crashing, like Times Square Remastered, by the way, you're kind of shit out of luck. I mean, unless you own an LGS. It's just not really as plausible. So keep that in mind when you get into this whole financial world. I know MTG finance is a big thing. I always go to the subreddit. I always talk to people about it. And I love the community. I love seeing what people post, and it's always fun. It's always exciting to see potential gains. It's always fun to see a card go from, 60 cents to a $5 card. That's a pretty sizable amount of profit. But like I said, transaction fees and finding people who are willing to buy it. If the card that you bought out was $1 and it's now $12, okay, but no one is going to buy it, no one wants it. Let's just say, for example, this bonded fetch just doesn't really do anything, but the supply is low. You bought out no one's going to buy it. Now, you could trickle it over time by doing TCG listings and just have it on TCG. People will buy them. People build decks. But once again, TCG has huge listing fees. So be prepared to take that as well. It's not really an easy thing to do. Anyway, guys, Alan from MysteryMTG.com. I encourage you guys to buy sealed product, to sit on it, to enjoy it, maybe to draft it with friends. And you know what? Occasionally you will have the sealed product that goes up like $150 in price, and you're able to sell it for a profit. Keep in mind taxes are a thing. Keep in mind that damaged product is a thing. Keep in mind that product goes missing in the mail. Keep in mind that fraudulent purchases are very, very common in the Magic the Gathering space. That is not uncommon at all. And you, more than likely, if you had 9 boxes, 2 of them might go missing or you might get scammed for. So keep that in mind when it comes to the pricing. That happens very often, and when it does happen, if you're not prepared for that to happen, you're going to be very disappointed. You're just going to be sad because you ended up making no money off that, because 2 of the boxes are like $900 total, and you only made a couple $100 profit already, so you're in the negative. So, it just kind of sucks if it gets to that point, but that is what it is. And if you're going to come into the space, you have to be ready for that. Mystery MTG has literally gone through pallets and pallets and pallets and pallets and pallets of product, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product. And I can't tell you the amount of people who try to take product from us, even people that we sometimes trust, even people who have ordered from us for a year or two, or almost the entire year. Sometimes we'll just get very greedy and we'll release a very spicy product like the Eternal God Crate, and we had people who were just trying to get it for free. They say, oh, this wasn't delivered to the right address, and then you try to go through the right avenue to fix it with them, and they get lazy and they're like, whatever, it's fine. Well, if you paid $1.2 thousand for a product, you wouldn't just say it's fine and get over it. You got the product and you wanted to get it for free. I think a lot of people have done that. When I was 18 or 17, I sometimes would do that when I went to fast food. If, the burger just didn't look right, or I'd try to get a new burger. And you would be happy because you might get an extra one for free and you get to keep the one that you have. Everyone likes to get doubled up. So they're going to do that to you too. They're going to say, I didn't get the box. I need my box. I want you to send a different box. And you're going to say, well, it says that it shipped to you. It said that it was delivered. It's verified delivered to your address. What can I do about that? And they're always going to say, well, it's your problem. It's the seller's responsibility. And the seller, everything being on the seller is going to be the bane of your existence, but that is what it is, and you can't change that. And PayPal will side with the buyers. Everyone is going to side with the buyers, and that is why you're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. You're not going to make it if you don't. You're not going to make it if you don't. So anyway, guys, Alan from MysteryMTG.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Come join us for our live streams. We do them once every 3 days. We open packs. We have fun. We do a lot of Time Spell Remastered. We do a lot of Shards of Alara. We do Battle Bond. We do Double Masters. We do Modern Masters 2017. We get into all this stuff. You can buy packs from us. Go on to our website, MysteryMTG.com, and check out our 3-pack premiums, our 6-pack premiums, our 9-pack premiums. These are all very transparent. All of our products come from LGS owners. They're never tampered, they're never weighed, they're never resealed. You get exactly what you pay for. We crack the box open, we run the randomizers, and you'll get what you get. And that is why we are very highly rated, and people love us, and we love you guys. And I hope what I talked about today actually helps you guys understand what MTG finance is kind of really like. I know there are kind of pipe dreams about it, but there's a reality to everything. So anyway, Alan from MysteryMTG.com. I will see you next time, and be safe, be happy. Make sure to wear your mask, even if you're vaccinated. We got to be careful. And I hope you guys are able to enjoy some paper magic soon. I am very excited for that. So I will see you next time. Bye-bye.